Yes, Dharshani, you can start now.
So, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to yet another, session. There are a lot of times where, we feel that why things are going wrong, isn't it? Or why things are not working out for us. Many a times you must have encountered of a situation, isn't it? Many of us, in different forms, we might have encountered. So, with that being said, let's understand as to how we can uh, you know uh, command respect without saying a word. Whether you are a working professional, entrepreneur, or a leader in progress, your presence speaks before you do, isn't it? Many of us know that without we saying a single word, our behavior, our attitude, lot of our things talks before we start verbally communicating with someone, isn't it? So, we have you ever felt invisible in a meeting or ignored during a conversation, even when you know what you're saying makes sense? Has anyone encountered who's joined us live? Yes, no, yes. So, why does that happen? Either it is that our body language or our non-verbals and our verbal communication is not in sync. There are different factors as to how that has been encountered, isn't it? Say, for example, if you have felt any of these, first we need to understand not only me as an individual or not only you as an individual, everyone faces this. But in different intensity, people face this. So let's understand, what is a true presence. If I may ask anyone who has joined us live, what do you understand by true presence? If you can tell me.
Yeah. May I?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. True presence means being there in the presence of our mind, being
Yes.
mindful, and being focused on what being said,
Okay.
and not being somewhere else.
True.
While we are our attention being drawn to the subject matter, and our mind goes somewhere else.
True. So presence is not only about being loud, it's being about being grounded. Many a times we think that okay, we have to wear very bright colors, we have to wear something very bold. So that's only when you make your presence. Not necessarily. Your energy is also a form of presence. Your awareness is also a form of presence. When all these comes with alignment, this becomes your presence. Say, for example, or say if you want me to put it in more layman language, your energy, your awareness plus your alignment becomes your presence. Think of your presence like a Wi-Fi, strong, invisible, and everyone can feel it even it's working or not. Isn't it? There is an energy which we give out. There is a lot of things which we give out directly, indirectly through words in different forms. We give presence to people. It can be using our emotions. Now, I'll just give you a very short exercise. Just, either close your eyes or, even you can do this with your eyes open also. Take a breath. Imagine walking into a room with confidence. What do you see and how do you feel? Many of us will, encounter this in different forms, or many of us will feel this in different energies. Don't you? Have you ever felt where you go to a hall or a conference room or a boardroom, or let it be a social event space where For some time the space has been with loud, energizing music. How do you feel? Isn't it? We all get energized, or our mood instantly changes, to what we came for. Isn't it? So most communication is non-verbal, and most respect is earned before you speak. When I say non-verbal, it can be a body language as well as your posture. Say for instance, standing straight with your straight spine and open shoulders demonstrates, different things. Can be confidence, it can be different things to different people. Then comes your facial expression and your eye contact. I think that's another important segment which needs to be discussed, which is your eye contact. Many of us have this trouble that we don't look at people's eye and talk. Or you find this lot of it in today's kids, you find this. Isn't it? A lot of times you find these things in different, forms or different energy space. In different forms, we feel all these things. Because it will be not the same as I feel as to how Shabana ma'am would feel it, isn't it? And we all have different ways of grooming ourselves. Maybe try, just introspecting with the way you walk, the way you talk. Even that is also an energy, isn't it? Because your mind is like a mirror. Whatever plays inside reflects outside. So it's the kind of energies what we give out. Talking about your confidence. Confidence is like a muscle which needs to be, exercised over and over again. And not many are inborn with it, but it's something which we have to practice it over and over again, like through power poses. We all have our own superheroes which we admire, isn't it? Sometimes when we stand like them, instantly when your body posture changes, the way you think, your energy also changes. Then mirror work, talking with yourself in the mirror, or because it as mirror affirmation. Then the next, your breath work, because in any emotion, your changes. I don't know how many of you have noticed this where, if you're angry, how does your breathing pattern be? It'll be fast, or for some, it'll be shorter breaths, isn't it? It will be different for different people. Imagine your future you walking into a dream room. What will be different? Or imagine going to your dream vacation destination. How would you feel? Isn't it? So even the words which you speak, the emotions which you carry, all these things are also energy. I think as somebody rightly said that people don't remember you for what you say. They remember you, how you made them feel. Now, the simple, hack or the simple tip, what I would suggest everyone to give it a try is set a three words or two. How do you want to feel around, people around you? Basically, it's like a setting an intention, right? You don't need to shout to be seen. You need to show up in alignment that your body and your mind is aligned to what you do. Isn't it? And I'll give you a very simple and live example. With many individuals, you find them they are very scared of stage or they have stage fright. What is the first thing we'll instantly tell them? We either tell them that you need to face your fear so that you can walk through it and you can beat that fear. Fear can be only removed by facing it. Not through any other means, you can remove that fear or reframing the thought. Say, for example, I tremble when I'm standing on the stage. Instead of that, maybe you can, this is something which I never had stage fright as an individual, but then you can create a good rapport with couple of people and make sure that you're just not seeing everyone, just select couple of people whom you're comfortable with, just look at them and talk. So only thing what I wanted to bring in, to awareness is that sometimes you don't have to be loud. Sometimes you don't have to scream that you have be heard. This statement always hit me hard when I heard this, that if your energy, if your energy is getting drained due to some reasons, maybe that environment is not for you. If that environment energizes you, then yes, it is a sign for you that okay, that is a place where you can be. Any questions before I go forward? Rajvin, any questions you have? No? Okay. So a couple of simple hacks, what I would suggest, which you can give it a try, is that, first we need to understand what kind of, situations or what kind of places we feel that we are not being seen. Because this is a kind of an emotion where you find it very difficult, to get through. Any negative emotion, any emotion is very difficult to get through. So first is your breath work. Say, for example, whoever is listening to this later, just close your eyes right now for a moment. And if you notice your breathing will be very short. It will be from your chest rather than from your stomach or your belly. Why said this is because in any emotion, as I said earlier, it is your breathing pattern which changes, isn't it? Your breathing pattern changes. Okay, quick question to the audience. When you're angry, how will your breathing pattern will be? Fast, slow, medium, or very unwavering? How it will be for you?
Ideally, generally it should be short, but then I guess this also depends on person to person. There are people who get into a stage of anger and they
Yes,
take a longer time. They take a longer time to get out, and there's some people who have a quick burst of anger and then they quickly come out of it. So I
it
guess,
can be different people.
yeah, but I would say a larger probable mathematical percentage would be on the shorter, but then there would be few who get into it and they're out of it.
Thank you, sir. So, so as sir was saying, it will be different for different people. But then, at the end of the day, with anger, patience doesn't comes in. So it's like similarly, it's like a snowball effect. As to initially, if you're able to, what is leading to your emotion? So if you can change the thought or never ever discuss something on the heat of the moment, maybe discussing it later can, instead of reacting, you start responding. Why I'm bringing up this kind of a situation here is because relationship is getting damaged because of this. Where sometimes it's very difficult to regain back your respect or your can be different things. Yes, it is different for different people, different perspectives. I respect that, but
Can I interject and make a point? Because then I'll lose probably if you don't mind. I know I'll probably cut out your flow on this one.
oh,
But
no problem. Go ahead, sir.
my only two bit on this is sometimes what happens is, as you rightly pointed out, you don't react, you respond, right? But who decides what's reaction and what's responding? Because let's say hypothetically, you and me had an argument, right? And you said something, then I actually chose to respond to it in a very mature, logical manner. Now I'm responding, right? But you're taking it as a reaction. So my response can be your reaction. Now the point is not about the response and the reaction also. There's a flip side to it. If you don't respond, you could say, hey, you know what? I touched upon a topic and I said something and you're choosing to kind of run away from it and not responding. So the dynamics can be very multifold, and it's actually while you're right in a very, I'm sorry to say, don't take it otherwise, in a very generic way, the formula is absolutely right what you're saying. But what also happens is it also depends upon the people who are there in the conversation, how is their mental makeup and what's their maturity level. Now, my response is your reaction. My lack of response could be an absolute further escalation of the situation. And the dynamics tends to go into different mathematical probabilities depending on who the person is. So while we would like to kind of stereotype it into a black and white answer, in real time situations, it's got its gray areas.
Thank you, sir, for that input. No, I completely agree. Even sometimes no reaction also becomes a response, or we take it in a reactive way. It is also in the what sense as an individual who's listening to the conversation or who's listening to the argument also matters as to how we are taking it from our side. Yes, that also matters. Prem, sir, you want to add something? You're on mute.
This is very, very interesting input. I'm enjoying this.
Okay. I think then, yes. So this was a very short session which I had planned for because even if we give out too many things, maybe sometimes it doesn't stays or it's very hard to follow. So usually I keep my sessions short and simple or crisp for that matter. If there's no other questions or no other inputs, then we can call this a session.
Analogy to you.
Yeah. So, Darshini, would you like to give any practice to viewers if they would like to practice for the week and then maybe come?
I would say just two things. One is, becoming aware about your thoughts, becoming aware about yourself, either it can be a verbal communication, either it can be a non-verbal communication, and start consciously practicing mirror work. As I say, as even Harmit sir was saying, it is different for different people. We need to try it out and see what works for us. Maybe what I am saying might not work for a lot of people. This is out of experience, which I'm sharing all these pointers or these small hacks which you can try.
No, I think you're absolutely right. For somebody who's not in the process, it's a great thing because anything can be a starting point. And as you kind of dwell into it, you could probably get your own, your whatever works for you. But sometimes people just struggle to get the starting point. So, the starting point itself can be extremely important in terms of a journey. A lot of people want to start a journey, but they don't know where to start. So
True.
I think I
True.
completely
True.
agree with you on that.
True.
So thank you, Darshini, and thank you everyone for your kind input.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Everyone.
Pleasure. Pleasure.